Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. As you can see from the title, today we are talking about the next three books that I got to read from Miss Toni Morrison, which is Recitatif, yeah, Tar Baby, and Beloved. So these are the next three. If you are new here, I'm making my way through Toni Morrison's fictional catalog. So these are the three that I read in February. We're going to talk about them today. What I can say. Now, at this point, I've read 6 Toni Morrison books because I read 3 in January. I just read these 3. And what I can say so far, you're getting dynamic characters, devastating storylines, hard hitting themes, unforgettable characters. Like, I've said this since the beginning. You will not forget these characters in these books. And you're getting a message. You're getting a message. These books are filled with themes of racism and things that we are plagued with as a society and history and just everything. These three were no different. Okay? No different. Let's start in the order that I read them in because I am reading them in publication order. So the first one will be Tar Baby. Tar Baby, I actually saw that they are calling this a love story. And I didn't see that until after I read the whole thing. And I am like, as a love story, okay, it's a love story, but I don't like this as a love story. I liked it how I read it. Like, I liked it, I don't know, but like as a love story. And then somebody actually told me this was their favorite love story. And I was like, the love story in here made me want to fight the people in the book. So I wouldn't say this is my favorite love story. I don't even like what I like most about this book wasn't the love at all, unless we're talking about the familial love. I didn't like the romantic love in this book at all. But my biggest takeaway from this book is it really made me think about, like, as a person, the people that came before you, how much those people have shielded you from certain things, so much so that you don't even feel the full effect of what could have been. Let me explain. Like, you may have been afforded opportunities that, okay, let me say it like this. Let's say you got a big sister, an aunt, uncle, mama, daddy, whatever. They're your elder. They had to take so many hits for you. Not always, but a lot of times. And I've seen this in my life. I've seen this in other people's lives. But they take such a big hit that you don't even, what's left for you to feel like is great to you, but you don't even know the half of like what could have been if somebody wasn't standing in the gap and protecting you and taking these hits for you. And I don't feel like people could ever fully understand what that means. An example is, like, I think about my life and the hardships that I face, but then I think about, like, I got a big sister. What the stuff that she took on so that I didn't have to. I, like, even if I can, like, point out some stuff, it's some stuff I'll never know. And like the toll that took that allowed me to do XYZ. Like, that's what this book made me think of. It made me think about the people in our lives that they take a hit so that you can live a better life and you don't have to go through XYZ because they feel like they're obligated to because they're older than you, or like they feel responsible for you or whatever. So that was what I liked about this. I like the familial bonds. Did not like the love story in this. But again, you're getting everything that, like, I've grown to like about Toni Morrison novels. You're getting it in this. Also, this book is set in the Caribbean. Also in the United States too. There are times where the love story takes you to like New York City and stuff like that in the South. But really, I liked the personification of the Caribbean, the ocean, the just how this book kind of followed. It was slowly paced, kind of like how you would feel like life would be on the Caribbean. And I really enjoyed this. It is not my favorite book that I've read yet. Like, thus far, like, I've read other books that I liked a lot more than this. But that's not saying that this book is bad, because I haven't read a single bad Toni Morrison book. It's just saying that it's not my favorite out of all the ones that I've read so far. So that's Tar Baby. Then the next one I read, I'm hoping I'm saying this right. Recitatif. Recitatif. I promise I'm literate, y'all. Anyways, this was the second book that I read from Toni Morrison this month. This book, I typically don't like short stories at all. I'm just not a short story girl. And this is Toni Morrison's only short story. However, it was actually really good. Like in most Toni Morrison books, you're getting things of racism and systematic oppression and things like that. This book is told and it like highlights these two girls. One is black and one is white, but you're never told which is which. It's kind of like a social experiment. You kind of read it and decide who you think is who. You know what I mean? And while I did like that, I also I don't know. I'm just like, did she really write one is black and one is white? Or is like, I don't know. But anyways, it's supposed to like, it's a social experiment that's supposed to kind of force you to think about your biases, force you to think about what makes a person black or white, think about how there's a lot of similarities between the two and a lot of differences as well. And also think about the intersectionality, like other things that make a person and other things that kind of highlight their struggle in ways we can connect in ways that we don't outside of race. Like while race is important, there are other things, intersectionality, that come into play too. Yeah, so two main characters, Twyla and Roberta. This book definitely, obviously, I feel like every book that I've read from Toni Morrison has left me with questions. Not in a bad way, but just like, what is, like, how did this end? What is this? What did that mean? Once again, you get that in this book. And then you're thinking about I was thinking about what happened to Maggie, another person that's character in this book that gets mentioned a lot. So you're thinking about Maggie, Twyla, Roberta, their moms. Again, you're going to get them characters in this little book. And it has an introduction from Zadie Smith I thought was really good. So yeah, her only short story. Then we have Beloved. This book, I've actually heard when talking to people about Toni Morrison's catalog, I've heard many people say that Beloved was their favorite book. Just as many people as I've heard say that The Bluest Eye is their favorite. So I already went in with expectations that this book would be really good, and it did not disappoint, okay? Again, left me with so many questions. Again, left me thinking about these characters. All of them. Beloved, Setha, Denver, Paul. Yeah, it was a good book. This book had, again, you get all of those same things, but it had like an eerie type feeling about it that I didn't get in the other books. Really good, very interesting. You're getting that poetic, lyrical prose that she always gives us. Always. A traumatic story told in a way that shows that there's nuance in it. The characters go through a lot. Yeah. And it's very interesting, y'all. I keep thinking as I'm reading it, I don't know how to not continuously think about which book is my favorite, which one I like. And I keep saying, like, yeah, I'll figure it out at the end. But as I'm reading it, I can't help but to constantly think, like, I'm like ranking them as I read them in my head. And I don't know, like, I know these two are good. Tar Baby and Recitatif. Child. Anyways, these books were good, but I know they're not in my top. They're good. I mean, Toni Morrison gonna do what Toni Morrison does. They're just not in my top for me. And I keep thinking, like, where do I rank Beloved? Where do I rank The Bluest Eye? Where do I rank Sula? Where do I rank Song of Solomon? And I'm gonna, at the end, I'm gonna like try my best to say like which one was my favorite and really like tier rank them or group them to some degree. I don't know how because so many are good. These two wouldn't be in my top so far just because I like the other ones more. I feel like for me personally, but I don't know where I would put Beloved. because I don't know, like I'm gonna let this sit and simmer and see like where it falls. But I am having a ball going through these. The first three books that I read were published in the 70s. These three were published in the 80s. And yeah, man, like I'm enjoying it. I wish I would have read these earlier, but I also feel like there's no time like the present. I'm enjoying it. I have the space and opportunity to read them. I feel like I could sit with them and just see like where they fall for me. I don't know. I don't know. But that's it for today. If you've read these, let me know. And then again, like I said, I actually talked to somebody that said Tar Baby was their favorite love story. And I'm like, I like this for so many reasons, but not for the romantic love in it. That was probably the one thing I didn't really like about this book. But let me know if you read this. Do you love the love story in here? And then let me know what you think about the other ones. All right, is Beloved your favorite? I hear it all the time. I hear Beloved and The Bluest Eye. I hear a couple of Paradises sprinkled in, a couple of Sulas, but mainly I hear people say Beloved and The Bluest Eye. And I've now read both. Let me know and why. Let me know, because I'm really trying to, like, in my head, I don't know where I'd place Beloved. It's so good. But I'm like, do I like it more or less than this, or more or less than that? So let me know what y'all think in the comments. And that's it for today. See ya.